What is up, everyone? Welcome to Murray NJ08. This is my year-end wrap-up series that I do every year. All the way, I've been doing this since 2008. Uh, this is a series that includes the best and worst of 2015, my game of the year of 2015, my honorable mention of 2015, my most anticipated games of 2016, and in this video right here, my channel recap, review, and what's coming next year. I do this every year at the end of the year, so you definitely want to stay tuned to this video. I'm going to try to make it quick this year and right to the point. So let's review the channel. This year was a huge year for Murray NJ08. I want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody, my longtime subscribers and viewers, for following me all year, for following me for years. Some of you guys are returning, some of you guys are new. Some of you guys have been here since the beginning and seen the progression of the channel. That's awesome. I appreciate everybody, new and old. The channel actually seen a lot of new stuff this year. Every year I try to add something to the channel. And if you go back to last year's channel recap, I talked about what's coming. And a lot of that did happen. Just like I'm going to be telling you what's coming next year. And hopefully that'll be able to turn out good. I got a lot of ideas from you guys, a lot of ideas that I came up with. I'm going to run them by you, see what you think. But let's talk about what happened this year. I did bring in a lot of new series. Check the series out. A lot of series that are returning, old series that have been pretty much in hiatus for a long time. They came back this year in full swing. Subscriber requested series that I had stopped for a while that everybody's like, no, we want to see more. And I brought in a lot of new stuff. Trading cards, it's pretty big. I see a lot of people doing it, and I do collect trading cards, so I actually started a Pokemon series on here. A Let's Collect Pokemon series. Same with Animal Crossing, the Amiibo cards. I'm a huge Amiibo collector and Animal Crossing collector, so I figure, well, the best of both. I actually have in Let's Collect Animal Crossing cards, and people seem to really like them. They like to see what pulls I get. They like to see the rare cards that I get. They like to compare them to themselves. I've had offers from subscribers and viewers for trades, to buy extra cards. I just starting that, I actually ran into a whole mess of new people that I'm in contact with, became friends with. We trade, we buy. So the series brought in a lot of great, positive attention to the channel. So that's going to be continuing next year. I started playing more genres of games, all kinds of games, and games that people really have been asking me to play for a long time. Subscriber, viewer requested playthroughs out of nowhere, whether they were old games or new. I've had so much response from people after a while. I'm like, you know what? This is the year that I'm going to actually start playing what people want me to play. And that went over really well. So, this is also your channel as much as mine. It's pretty much what keeps the channel going. If it's not content that you want to watch, who's going to watch it, right? But one of the things that I'm very grateful for is that, there's no sponsorship here. I don't have to do any rules or anything or do the channel a certain way. We've pretty much been a free bird with this channel. Do what you want, not have to worry about, AdSense, got a regular job. I'm doing photography. I started a portrait studio this year, so that was huge. That also was shown on the channel. I now do in-studio portraits. It's been hopping with Christmas portraits and senior portraits and everything, and kids, and it's been huge with families. So that went over really well. I'm glad I'm able to do that. I invested in a lot of equipment in the channel this year, photography, but also for my gaming channel. We got brand new microphones, new video camcorders, a whole new PVR system for direct capture. Been putting back into the channel to give to you guys, to give you guys better content every day, to give you better quality. I'm always striving on making the channel better. It's a small-time channel, but every single year the channel does grow, subscribers, views, and that's all really one can ask for in a situation that I'm in. I'm not looking for a humongous, by the thousands. Every so many hundred or few people is great for me, and that means that the channel is growing. Every little bit counts. I've been having excellent feedback. I'm big on Twitter. I made more of a presence of myself on Twitter. That really helps the channel out because I get to contact people. And, if you guys don't wait for a channel update and you don't comment or whatever, but you want to talk to me directly on Twitter, that was a great outlet, and it gives me an insight of, oh, well, I should add this to the channel, and people are telling me directly to do this, and I can make on-the-fly changes. So Twitter is a great outlet to communicate with you guys, because I don't always make the channel updates. I used to make them once a week. Now I kind of make them once to twice a month, and people seem to like that method a lot better. And I am getting more of communication with you guys on Twitter, so that's awesome. Google Plus, YouTube comments, YouTube private messages, direct messages on Twitter, Facebook, everything. So that's awesome. So more interaction with you guys is basically what I'm saying, and that's going to continue next year. Next year, I want to start some new ongoing series. I'm not sure really what they are yet, but I'm thinking about some ongoing series. Maybe try something completely different, a completely different kind of game. Maybe not even just a game, maybe a whole complete different series. I do a lot of hiking with photography and a lot of traveling, so maybe like a hiking vlog series where I actually take you guys on various hikes. I go through all the nature parks and I do a lot of macro photography, landscape photography, so that would be something really cool. I'm going to be bringing back my Photoshop tutorials because I have a lot of people that view them. I've been contacted with big time, graphic designers and photographers that love my series, and I'm going to be doing more of that for those guys. And I'm actually going to have an on-camera, in the studio, tutorial series that's going to start next year, where it's portrait studio, showing different strobes, showing different light ratios, different lighting techniques. That's awesome for the photographers. I'm going to have a tech series where every week or at least once a month I'm actually going to be talking just about tech, and it could be about something that's in the media, VR, camera equipment, computer equipment, some kind of breakthrough technology. We're going to be talking about it on the channel. It's going to be an actual podcast. It's going to be a tech podcast. And of course, the video games is the main focus of the channel, so you're going to have tons of that. You're going to have your regular gameplay every week. You're going to have your more gaming reviews. I'm going to make a note to make more reviews for this coming year, for 2016, because they said, you're down and dirty review series. You don't really have a lot of reviews on your channel. You hardly have any, but we notice you talk a lot about them on Twitter. I do. So maybe less of that and maybe making more of a video about it. Even if it's like an impressions video. I don't necessarily have to give a score, because I'm not always big on giving a game a score. But I do like to talk about the game. So instead of giving my thoughts on Twitter like I do, somebody suggested, why don't you make videos about it? Don't necessarily have to be a review or a score, but you could just talk about the game and whether you think people should check it out or not. So that's going to be coming in 2016. So a lot of changes. Mostly everything that works is going to stay the same. We're just going to basically add to the channel like I do every year. I don't want to take away from the channel. I want to add to the channel. Okay? More gameplay. We'll be checking out more games. Somebody suggested on Twitter to me the other day, maybe you should check out some more indie games. There's an idea. I do check a lot of them out, but maybe I do focus too much on the AAA games and not enough, give some exposure to the little indie developers out there. And there's tons of indie games that are fantastic. And a matter of fact, even on my Game of the Year, you're going to be seeing a lot of, great games mentioned as far as indie games. So there you go. So indie games is definitely something that you're going to see more of. And maybe once or maybe twice a month, subscriber requested playthrough. Whether it's a few parts or a full playthrough, you guys are going to vote. I'm going to do the Twitter now has those voting polls now. So there you go. There's no excuse. And for those of you that don't have Twitter, I'll find other ways as well to tally up your votes. Whether you private message me on YouTube, on Google Plus, or Facebook, but it's going to be more of a communication with you guys. So if there is a playthrough that you guys are thinking about, I definitely want to hear from you. And I usually do the Summer of Retro. Somebody suggested to me, why don't you do more than just the summer? How come it has to only be the summer that you do a lot of retro games? That's another thing to think about. Maybe once every other month, I just sit down and I do a retro game out of nowhere. Whether it's Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Dreamcast, I have all the systems. I have tons of games. And now with the Wii and the Wii U, you have the Virtual Console. The PS4, Xbox One's got a lot of retro games now in the shop, the digital shops. You could download these games now. Now there's all backwards compatibility. So there's definitely no excuse not to play retro games. So maybe I'll also play them more often as well. But again, it's going to be a thing between me and the viewers with you guys. It's all about your input. And I mean, of course, I have a say in it too. But if I think the idea is good and I'm up for it, I will definitely take into consideration uh, what my subscribers say, because this is really for you guys. I mean, this is a hobby. This is for fun. This isn't something that I have to make money off of. We don't have to worry about views here. We don't have to worry about sponsorships. We don't have to worry about massive subscriber numbers. We don't have to worry about playthroughs taking off. None of that. This is for fun. I guarantee you, with what I get, nobody's done this since 2008 consistently like me. I'm probably one of the only ones on here that has, not a lot of views or not a lot of subscribers. I mean, people maybe in the millions and the high thousands for views. I've been doing this consistently since 2008 with pretty much the same amount of views and subs that I've always had. We're gradually increasing every year, but nothing like dramatically. So that's a rare thing to have somebody keep going. The reason that I keep going is because I'm doing it for you guys, and I don't really have to do it. It's not a job. So I'm able to be free and enjoy games and enjoy them with you, and I love interacting with you guys, and I love hearing what you guys have to say. I think it's awesome. I'm very grateful that I know I complain a lot about YouTube a lot of times, and their horrible customer service and the horrible things that they come up with and these new updates that make no sense that they come up with every week just to change things around. But luckily for them, I'm able to experience your reactions and have you guys experience my gameplay and my thoughts on a game and just enjoying the game together and not worrying about all the silliness that a lot of these YouTubers worry about. I don't have to worry about any of that stupidness. Whether I get 1 view or 10 views or 1,000 views on a video, I've had videos that were extremely successful, such as my travel vlog. Some videos that have nothing to do with video gaming, or a really successful video game playthrough. Like, who knew? I did check my WWE 2K13 playthrough. I think it's got like 60, 70,000 views a video. I did that on a whim. And it just happened to be, that's another thing. Somebody's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're not playing no more WWE. Look how successful it was. I don't base it on that. I could play something that was not even successful. If I wanted to play the game. If I'm ready to play more wrestling games, then I'll definitely bring it into the channel. If there's more, of a demand for it, that's fine. Because the guy's like, oh my god, you got thousands and thousands of views on this playthrough. We're surprised your channel's not flooded with it. If I only cared about AdSense and money and views, then I would. But, that's not what this channel's about. I try to cover everything. I try to cover sports, racing, first-person shooters. During the whole month of December, I played games with you guys on all different platforms. So whether you had a Wii U, a PS4, an Xbox One, everybody got a chance to play with me. I'm diverse. I try to cover everything, different genres, different console systems. I'm also on PC, so I like to cover a little bit of everything. And, it's not all about the views and everything. This is a small-time channel. I wouldn't want this channel any other way. And, I talked about sponsorships. Hey, listen, I get small-time sponsorship companies all the time asking me, would you like to join our sponsor? Would you like to join our YouTube group or whatever? And we'll make sure that you get so much AdSense and all this, and that your views deserve more attention, and you need more subscribers, and we'll spread the word about you. We like to help the little guys out, and I researched a lot of them. Some of them were okay. Some of them were good. Some of them were not so good. A lot of them wanted me to change up my commentary, to change up my content. No. I don't want any of that. I'm not into any of that. I don't want to change for anybody. If it means getting a couple extra thousand subscribers or views, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'll find a guy or sponsorship that wants me to stay exactly the same, and then I will. I'm not going to change for them. It's just not going to happen. It's not what Mary and Jay is all about. It's not what I built this channel on since 2008. It's about freedom. It's about doing what you want to do, saying what you want to do, playing what you want to play. There's no review copies here. I stand in line at GameStop every Tuesday or Friday and pick up the games just like you guys. A real average gamer, an average Joe. There's no company knocking on the door saying, play our game, review it, give it good scores. No. You're getting the truth here from a guy that's buying the games, just like you guys. And, and whatever I do make off of YouTube goes right back into the channel in equipment or games. So there's no profit here. It's all good and fun. It's all for you guys. Every year I make these channel recaps, and I want to make this a special one because I did want to talk about all this stuff. This is stuff that people do ask, and people are curious of because they're like, you know what, Sean? We've been following you since 2010. We've been following you since 2009. We've been following you since 2008. How do you do it? How do you keep going? That's how. I'm lucky that I'm able to keep this going, and you know, at the end of the day, it's a hobby, but it's a love, it's a joy. And when I get people that comment to me and say, I love this playthrough, when I get people on Twitter and I retweet them and they say, can't wait for Sean's Fallout playthrough, or I can't wait for Sean's Tomb Raider coverage, I retweet it, that means the world to me, I'd rather have one of those guys than like 30 people telling me I suck, or this is terrible, But constructive criticism is great too. I've had a lot of people through the years that started off as almost like nasty, like enemies, and then later on they're like, nah, you know what? You're a good guy. We actually like your content, but do you think maybe you could do this, or do you think maybe that this would make your channel? And you know what? A lot of the constructive criticism, I've become friends with them. I talk with them every day now. They wanted to help me actually. They had great things to say, about the way I do certain things, or do you think that you could take this as an opinion? And I'm not saying you should do this, but what do you think about? Hey, there's ways to tell people things, and there's ways not to. And if it's constructive and it's helpful, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for it. I'm all for opening my ears. I like to listen to people. I like to hear what you guys have to say, because at the end of the day, it is part of your channel too, and it's a community effort. It really is. I mean, I'm not playing these games or making the videos for me to watch them. I'm making them for you to watch them. So there you go. Expect great things for the channel. Like I said, whether I do find a sponsorship and I decide to go with one of these guys, nothing's going to change. I'm not going to change. The channel's going to be the same. I'm not going to make any changes for anybody. And that's just the way that it's going to be. There you go. And I'm getting a call right now on my Mac, and I'm going to ignore it. That's my 2015 channel wrap-up, channel review, and what's coming next year. I hope you join me. We got great things planned. You're going to be a part of it, so you definitely want to join me next year. And if you're new, welcome aboard. If you're an old-timer, thanks for sticking with me. You definitely need a award for that, that's for sure. But it's been a fun ride, and I hope you guys are along for the ride to come. Take care, everybody. Happy holidays, and thank you for tuning in to my channel this year. Bye-bye.